Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. In today's video we have a very exciting video and it is my completed pages for May. So I managed to get quite a few done this month, so I'm quite happy about that. So I'll just show you the books that I've completed pictures in first. So we've got Disney Portraits, we've got Rita Berman's new book, A Million Unicorns, A Million Mermaids, A Million Magical Creatures. And then we've got Inky Whimsy, we've got Mythomorphia, and also Johanna Bassford's Advent Calendar. So what we're going to do is start with the smallest ones first, I think. So we'll start with Disney Portraits. So with it being Mermaid, I decided to colour in some mermaids. So the first picture that I did was this picture of Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So I'll bring this up so that you guys can have a little look. So for this picture, I used the Brute Ferner pencils to do her hair and her skin. And inside of this little circle, that was all done with Brute Ferner pencils. And then for the background, I used just a blue acrylic paint and filled in all of the sea in the background. And then I used an orange acrylic paint to go over these little sort of leafy details that they've put in, because I had coloured them all in. And then when I was painting the blue, I went over some of them and I thought, oh no, because my paintbrush wasn't small enough to go round them properly. So I ended up going over them all and then going back over it with the orange paint to fill them in afterwards. And then I used some white Posca to add in the little bubbles that were already in the background because I'd already painted over them. So I just went over them as well. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how it came out. I really like her hair. So with the Brute Ferner pencils, you can go over the colours with the white and it will still show up. So I'd added in this bit here with like lighter pressure for that red and then went over it with the white. And it just makes it look like a really nice shiny highlight on there. So that is the first picture. Next, I've got one from Rita Berman's Mein Reis Dutch Europe, I think that's how you pronounce it. So in this one, I actually did a buddy colour, which is the first buddy colour that I've done in a while. And it was for this page. So I'll bring it up so that you guys can have a little bit of a closer look. I did a nice blue and pink scooter and then I just did some bright ice cream colours on there. So for this one I used the Arteza pencils, so I've got the 120 set and I used them to colour all of this in. And then for the background I used soft pastels, so I used like a grey colour on the bottom here for the floor and then just a really light blue and sort of a light green for the actual sky. And then what I did with the clouds is I went around the black lines with a white Posca pen to sort of hide them. And then I went over that with a blue metallic gel pen, just so that the clouds have got a little bit of sparkle to them as well. And it just makes them stand out a little bit better rather than just blending into the background. And then I did the same here for the ice cream. So I went around the black lines with the white Posca pen and then used a matching colour. So here I've used pink and then obviously a bit of yellow, orange and green gel pens to go over the Posca pen, just so it makes it look like it is the same colour as what we've got down and not just leaving it white all the time. And then I went round and added a few tiny little highlights and just left them white. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to colour and I did this with June's colours, so we did a buddy colour together. So I'll link her information in the description down below because she's also got a YouTube channel as well. So if you guys want to check out her videos and see what she's done. So that was for this picture. Next, we've got one from A Million Unicorns by Lulu Mayo. So you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, that I really love these books. They're just super cute books. And I decided to go ahead and do this picture again because it's Mermaid and we have some unicorn mermaids. So as you can see, I've already done this side and I wanted to make it look like it matched. like the backgrounds matched. So I'd done like a galaxy effect in this one with like purples and blues. So for this one, I did the same sort of effect, but I used more blues and greens and really light purple to make it look a bit more like an ocean background, if that makes any sense at all. I decided to give them mermaid hair, so like turquoise, blue and purple, and then did their tails all matching. So yeah, this one was a lot of fun to do. I used the Core's soft pastel pencils to do the actual unicorns and their tails. I had to use the Arteza black pencil to fill in the killer whales because the cores are all pastels, so you don't get a black pencil in there. So I had to use a black one for that from the Arteza set. Then the background I did with soft pastels, and then went over with a Posca pen to add in all of these little sort of star details and the little lines and dots in the background. And I think that's everything that I used on here. I didn't use any gel. Oh, I did use gel pens. I'm lying. I used gel pens for their unicorn horns. So that's pink and green sparkly gel pen. I don't know if it will show up on camera. But yeah, I think that page came out quite nice, and I'm quite happy with both pages together. So when you look at it, they don't look that different. It looks like the same sort of thing. So I'm quite happy with how they came out. So that is that page. So next we did, I did A Million Mermaids by Lulu Mayo. So again, another mermaid picture for Mermaid, because I thought, you know, it only comes around once a year, so I might as well do some mermaids. And I decided to do this one. So for this one, I used mainly pencils for this. I used the Core's pastel pencils to fill in, obviously, the mermaid and all of this greenery in the background. And then I used some Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils as well, because we've got the greys here for the sharks, and I didn't have any grey colours in the pastel sets. So I used the Faber-Castell Black Edition to fill in them and add some shade into them. And then for the background itself, I actually used the Bambino crayons. So I used a darker blue all here in between all of the sort of details that we've got, and then faded it to a lighter blue into the middle, just to give it a little bit more like depth to the picture. And then for her hair, I filled it all in with pink, and then I went over the lines in her hair with the white Posca pen, and then went over that with a pink glitter gel pen, so you can see it's quite sparkly. And it just makes it stand out a little bit better as well. So I think that came out really cute in the end. But yeah, this was this page. I did use a bit of gel pen on the whale's little horn there as well. Just a little bit of silver and a bit of gold gel pen for his little trumpet there. But yeah, that's how this page came out. Super cute. And then next we've got A Million Magical Creatures, also by Lulu Mayo. And I think this one was, again, another mermaid picture. Oh, it was, kind of, yeah. So this one I chose because we have got the mermaid, but we've also got the unicorn. So I thought it's a little bit different to what we've already been doing. So for this, I used the Faber-Castell Black Edition. I tried to do a different technique with the rainbow, because normally I sort of fill it in and then leave like a little patch in the middle where the highlight is. But this time I decided to darken up the edges and then have the lighter colour in the middle. So it just gives it a different effect when you look at the rainbow. And I was quite happy with how that came out. And then obviously I just filled in the sea with normal sea colours. Went over the breaks in the waves with the white Posca pen, and then went over that with a really light blue, sort of pastel blue, just to give that a little bit more of a blue colour to the break in the waves. And then for the unicorn itself, I went over her lines with a white Posca, and then went over that with a yellow gel pen. And I think it makes her really stand out. She just looks like a big moon glowing in the middle of the picture. If you look at it from a distance, you can't really even tell that it's a unicorn. But yeah, I wanted to make her nice and bright, so I went with yellow and then used like a yellowy orange to do some shading on her. And then for the mermaid, again, I just went for the sort of not purple, blues and green hair, and then obviously like a little purple body. But yeah, this is just a super cute page. I really like these pages. For the background itself, I used some soft pastels. So I just used different colours like pinks, purples and blues and a bit of orange and just mixed it all together in the background. And then I filled in the clouds with the same colour combination so that it matched. And then I went round the clouds with the white Posca and then went over them with sort of like pinks and blues just to make them stand out a little bit more as well. But yeah, that's how this page came out. So that's that one. Next, we've got one from Inky Whimsy by Helen Elliston. So this is actually a new book that I picked up in my last colouring book haul. And I haven't actually got round to doing any pictures in here. But I saw this one and thought that this one would be good to do for Mermaid. So as you can see, it's got a really glittery background. And it depends which way you turn it to how sort of metallic-y and shiny that it looks. But for this one, I used Black Widow pencils to do all of the pencil work. So for the mermaid herself and sort of all of these little anchor, and I think that's called a spear, and the fish. And then I just used, this is a watercolour metallic paint. And I put this all over the background and then went over with a white Posca pen to go and outline the glass itself to make it look a little bit more see-through. And then just added in the little sort of splashes with the white as well, just to give them a little bit more detail and make them stand out a little bit more. But yeah, this was just a quick page to do. It didn't take me that long really, because I coloured the background with the watercolour. It was just a case of waiting for it to dry and then going back in and adding some more where it needed a little bit more. But I'm quite happy with how the background turned out. I think it looks quite nice. But next time I think I might try and use like maybe two different colours or 3 different colours and sort of mix them together and see how that looks instead of just having one block colour in the background. But yeah, it was good to try out and good to test out different things in different books. I don't think this paper is meant for water. It did sort of buckle quite a lot, but it has flattened out as the book's been sat with other books on top of it. So I'm not too worried about that. I think it will just go back to a flat page after a while. So that was that one. Next, we've got one from Mythomorphia by Kirby Roseanne. So again, this is quite a new book to me. I literally have done this page and then I'm working on this one. So this is just a whip that I've started quite a while ago and I just haven't gotten anywhere near finishing it yet. I've just sort of made a start on the creatures and things like that, but I do really need to get that finished. It's just one of them pages that I'm just sort of taking my time on and making sure that I'm happy with it. So for this one, I picked the Merman picture. I'll just move this out. So this one I did with the Brute Ferner pencils. And I used some soft pastel to do this blue in the background. Because I wanted to try and make it look like where he was, he'd sort of mixed up the sea and caused the sea to be like a darker colour around him. And then the rest of the sea is just sort of like calm and there's no sort of movement in it. So that's why it's all like a lighter colour. But yeah, this is how this one came out. I'm super happy with his fin and with his hair. I think that looks really cool. Just that bright purple pop on it. And I think it just makes the page look a lot more brighter, just having him with like a darker colour against all the greens and the blues. And then for the fish, I went with yellow and orange because I thought we haven't really got any other yellows or oranges on the page. So that would brighten it up a little bit. And then the sea life here, like the shark, I tried to get him as sort of realistic as possible and make him look like a real shark. And then this blowfish. And then for the coral at the bottom, I just went for all different random colours to try and make it look quite bright. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this page came out. It did take me quite a while to do, especially this sort of sea bit here, because I had to go around and add all of this dark shadow in first and then fill it in with the like sort of turquoisey colour. And then I went back over it with the darker colour, adding in some more shade to the lines and things. And then I went round all of the little bubbles that were in there with a white Posca pen just to make them look a little bit more like bubbles. For the spear and his little cuffs, I just used sort of yellows and goldy colours to make it look a bit more like gold. I didn't want to put any gel pen on this page because I thought underwater is not really going to be sparkly, so I tried to keep it all sort of like flat colours. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this one came out, and I only finished this one not yesterday, the day before, so it nearly didn't make it into this video, but I'm super happy with it and I'm super glad that I got it finished. So there we go, there is another one. And then last but not least, we've got Johanna Bassford's colouring calendar for 2022. So I did May, obviously, because that's the month that we were in, and this is the page. So I used the Castle art pencils to do this. So all the flowers and all the leaf details was done in Castle art, and then I also used some gel pens as well. So for example, this one here, I used gel pen for the stem and then for the very outside edge of these leaves, because I wanted to make it look like a little bit sparkly, and the lines are so small that sometimes a gel pen is just a little bit easier to use rather than a pencil that you have to keep sharpening to be able to get into all the fine details. So that's what I did for that. And then I just went over with a Posca pen and added some little details to the flowers, just some little dots in the background really. And then for the background itself, I didn't want to do just sort of like greens and blues. I wanted to make it look a little bit different. So I went for pinks, purples and blues instead, and just sort of used soft pastels and mixed it all together. And I think it gave it quite a nice effect. I actually really like how it looks. I don't know if it's picking up on camera if you can see that, but you can see like there's pinks here and then blues, and it's just all mixed together, so it gives it like a different look all over. But yeah, I'm really happy with that one. I think that one came out super nice. And then we've got next month's to do. Let's have a look what next month's is. Oh, we've got some unicorns to do for June, so that should be fun. Yeah, so that was all of my completed pages for this month, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to let me know in the comments which one was your favourite and which one was your least favourite, and then I know for future which pictures you guys like to see more of, and I can colour more in them books. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a brilliant weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.